Good guys, glorious afternoon everyone, and welcome back once again to Psalm 146 Home and Garden. Today I'm making a video by special request by my best friend. I'm showing her what today's dinner is going to be, and it's going to be the little ribs and green sauce. It's called Costillitas and Salsa Verde. And so I just barely got back from the grocery store. That's why you see the things are still in bags here. But what I'm going to do is put 7 cloves of garlic, the smallest onion that I have. I'm going to take about half of this bunch of cilantro. I'm going to get a few of these, probably about 1.5 pounds of the tomatillos, the green tomatoes. And I do have extra chilies right here just in case I need some, but over here on the hydroponics unit, I have a jalapeno right there growing inside on the kitchen countertop. And there's going to be some more coming in soon, praise the Lord. And without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and bust this open. I'm going to go ahead and peel all of these husks off, and then I'm going to wash these up. And if you've never washed the tomatillos before, it's completely 100% normal. If you see like white bubbles coming off of it, I don't know exactly what that is, but they always do that, so don't be alarmed if that happens. So I'm gonna wash up my tomatillos, the peppers, and the cilantro. And in the meantime, I'm gonna wash the outside of the onion too, but in the meantime I'm gonna put the garlic inside the pot. I already got it on the stove getting ready to boil, like it's just barely turned on. So I'm gonna go ahead, peel these, get them washed up and put them in there, and I'll be back in a little while. So as you can see here inside the pot, I've got my garlic in there. I put in 7 cloves of garlic, 10 of these tomatillos, and apparently there's a difference between the bigger ones and the smaller ones. Some lady at the store said that the smaller ones taste a little less sour, I guess. But I got the bigger ones, they were on sale. It's only like a 40 cents difference per pound, but hey, you gotta save up wherever you can, you know. So I got the big jalapeno right there. I got the dwarf jalapeno sitting right there. The onion is under there somewhere, and I'm not putting the cilantro directly into this, but I am gonna still wash the cilantro and add that directly to the blender because that doesn't really need to be cooked thoroughly like as much as these do. So I'm gonna leave these in here, put the lid on, and then wait for them to change color, and I'll show you what it looks like. And in the meantime, back there, I'm gonna go ahead and put some lard inside of there. Hold on, let me show you. So I got a little bit of pork lard inside of this that they sell at the grocery store, but I have the container inside of a plastic thing so that the inside of my cabinet doesn't get all full of this. Hi, sweetie.
Hello.
What was I gonna say? Oh, while I'm waiting on this, I'm gonna go ahead and put this in there, but I'm not gonna completely heat it up just yet because I still gotta go ahead and wash the meat and season it and all that. But I definitely am gonna season it with Sazon Goya, and then also gonna use the Goya adobo. Let me show you real quick. And I want to say thank you once again to the person that sent me this candle. This thing smells nice. But anyway, I'm gonna be using the Goya adobo and the Sazon Goya as a double team on the little ribs. So without further ado, let me go ahead and do that. Okay, so I've got the meat like this. The seasonings are well incorporated, and I gotta caution you, you could skip this step if you want to, but it is vitally important if you want it to come out right that you take the time and pat each piece dry after you wash it. I know it's tedious. I have 3 pounds of meat here. They're cut into small pieces, but it is vitally important. Otherwise, you're gonna have a puddle sitting down there where you see it's orange. If you don't pat these dry before you put your seasoning on, you're gonna have your seasoning sitting down there in a puddle, and you don't want that. And otherwise, besides that too, if you have these sitting in a puddle, then as soon as you put them into the pot of lard, it's gonna just automatically pop you all over, and yeah, we don't want none of that. And so I'm just massaging it in a little bit more. I mean, I could just let it sit like that for right now, but I'm gonna go ahead and get my hands washed up and everything. Okay, so as you can tell, these are a totally different shade of green. They're thoroughly cooked now. So I'm gonna go ahead and move all of this to the back burner. and let it sit for a little bit because that is hot. Okay, so the lard is going in. And I'm just gonna wait for that to go ahead and melt down. So I did end up moving it over, so I'm not like reaching this all the way over on top of my griddle and everything. But something does seem a little odd about this. Like, I'm not used to seeing it with little brown spots in there like that, and it is completely rendered and starting to smoke already. So what I'm actually gonna do, I'm gonna turn this off, let it cool, pour it out, and I'm gonna start over. I'm gonna use corn oil. So better to be safe than sorry. I don't know if this is normal or not. I don't remember seeing it like this before, so that's what we're gonna do. Okay, so I poured that out into a glass jar and I washed this up, and there's clean corn oil in there right now. And I just want to leave this tip with you guys. So when I was a forklift operator way back in my heyday, there was this QC, her name was Petite Edwards, and there was this thing she used to say, when in doubt, throw it out. So I have learned to apply that to many things in life because I'm not into taking chances, especially when it comes to our health. So when it comes to food safety, if you got some doubt whether it looks funny, smells funny, God forbid that it'll taste funny, like if you have any kind of doubt at all, definitely just throw it out because it's a lot better to be safe than sorry. I know that's so cliche to hear, but it's true, and if you apply that wisdom, it'll keep you out of a lot of bad situations. So this jar is hot, but oh yeah, that's hot. I'll move it back there. I'm gonna scooch this over here, and I'm gonna go ahead and put some in. And I think maybe I should have heated it up a little bit more first, but I'm gonna go ahead and put it anyway. So all 3 pounds are gonna go directly in. As you can see, the meat is starting to fry, and you can hear it definitely. Okay, so as you can see, the meat is cooking over here, and you can hear that the fat has rendered down in here, and it's starting to pop like the fat grease does. And then over here, I've got everything in my blender cup, and I put the onion at the very top, farthest away from the blade things, because this is the thickest piece, so I want everything else to liquefy so it'll be easier for this. And everything else in the middle, and the cilantro's here. You can see the stems of the cilantro at the very bottom, and that's because I put the blender cup upside down on top of the base, and it kind of sort of somewhat cooks the cilantro, so to speak. I did wash everything though, but still. So that's why that's like that. So I'm just getting ready to turn it on and blend it up. So here's what it looks like completely blended up. You can see the little bits and pieces of cilantro. And I didn't add any salt or pepper or any seasoning at all to this because there's already plenty of salt on the meat itself. So it really doesn't need it. It's all gonna like simmer together in a little while anyway. So I'll be back shortly. So it's been quite a while, you guys. I just sat down and finished recording my Psalm 63 short video for today. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get around to it this morning, but I did it right now. And so as you can see, you can start to see the bones peeking out through the meat, like the meat is tightening around it, and that's where we want to be at. And so I got the sauce over here, just waiting to be poured in. It is still quite hot indeed. I just need to loosen the top, and then I'm gonna pour it in, and there's still quite a bit of oil. I might like let a little bit of this still boil off, so to speak, because look how much there is in there. Although I don't mind that though. But I'm gonna let this go ahead and fry a few minutes longer, and then I'm gonna pour that in. I'm gonna go ahead and pour this in and mix it and all the good things. And we're gonna simmer it with the lid on. I'm gonna put a little bit more water in here. And then I'm going to simmer this with the lid on. Now it isn't going to stay very, very green just because the annatto seed is in here from the Sazon Goya packets that I used. But it'll turn more of a brownish color, especially since it's cooking down and everything and mixing together. but it still tastes equally as good. So yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and put a little bit more water into my blender cup just to get this last little bit rinsed out of here and pour it into here. I'm gonna go ahead and wash up everything. My countertop, I already disinfected it before I did anything else. So that's done. All my dishes are done except for this bit right here. And that's pretty much it. And for the most part, I want to say that my stove pretty much stayed clean. Like there's little splatters right there right now from the green, but the frying didn't really splatter all over the place. And I'm surprised at that this time. It definitely would have splattered a lot more had I continued using the lard that I poured out. So I'll be back momentarily. The lid is on, and before I could even show you, it already got foggy and everything. And it's exactly 5:35 right now, so I'm gonna let this cook until 6 p.m. And then hopefully I'll get this video uploaded on time so that I can invite everybody over to Auntie Linda T-Nog, the New Orleans Gardener's channel, because it is Tuesday night, so she's on every Tuesday evening at 7 p.m. If you're interested, I'll see you over there. I'll be in the proverbial bushes, so to speak. Okay, you guys, this is my husband's bowl right here, and I gave him a piece of queso fresco that he's gonna go ahead and what do you say? I forgot what the word is. Put it over here. It like crumbles. That's what I want to say. Crumble it over here. But look how delicious this looks with that green sauce, and then there's rice, and he loves his sour cream right there. So that's it for now, you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and have a very blessed rest of your evening. Bye.